Toxic work environments, low pay, horrible bosses, those are some of the struggles that you might be dealing with. The question is, are you going to stay in that job or are you going to leave? And if you leave, are you going to be looking at a career change or a job change? Hey y'all, I'm Danielle Holmes and I'm the owner of Career Services by Elle. So in today's video, we're talking about that pivotal point in the road where you have to make a decision on whether you're going to change jobs or whether you're going to change careers. I'll be honest with you, a lot of the times when people come to that point in the road where they're like, I gotta make a decision, they make one on the fly. They're like, I gotta get out of this place, I gotta leave, I gotta go. What? I'm out. They sometimes end up making the wrong decision, and that decision costs them time, money. It just throws them way off their course. And they're not going after the goals that they want to go after because they chose the wrong path. So that's why it's so important to really understand what are the reasons why someone would consider a job change and what are some of the reasons why someone would consider a career change. Now they might sound like the same thing, like, okay, what's the difference? They all involve working. What does it matter? It's not all the same. It just is completely not the same. So you have to really figure out the difference between the two and think of, okay, which one of these is going to be best for the situation that I'm in? Is it going to be the job change or the career change? So that's why I'm going to share 4 reasons for why you should consider a job change and 4 reasons why you should consider a career change. So the first reason why you might want to consider changing jobs instead of changing careers is if you don't like your employer, but you love your job. So let's say you are working in an environment and you don't like your boss or you don't like your coworkers. You are just like done with them. You have to think of, okay, this is the problem that I have with these people. These people are my problem. But if you love your job, then you don't want to go making some big switcheroo, going into a whole new career when it's just those people that you're working with that are the reason for why you do not like your job. So in that case, you just want to go ahead and head on over to Google, head over to LinkedIn, and look for a job that is going to be the same type of job you have, which is called a lateral move, and just work for another company so that you can be in an environment that you're comfortable, maybe start some new and better relationships with people at that place, and develop a great relationship with that boss, who hopefully you'll be able to get along with in that new work environment. Reason number 2, the company is just not a good fit. So there are millions of reasons why a company might not be a good fit. It could be that your beliefs don't align with the company's guidelines or policies or principles. It could be that the company has a bad reputation that they developed over the course of you working for that company. It could be any reason for you to decide that this is not the company you want to work for. I've even had professionals that came to me for career services that said, hey, I'm switching because I don't want to work for a large corporation. I want to work for a small business. So whichever that decision is, you can still just change jobs. You can go to another company and work for that other company for whatever reason and not have to go and switch careers. Reason number 3, you want better pay. Now, thinking of pay, thinking of salaries and hourly pay, whatever it is that you're receiving, the moolah, okay, at the end of the day, you want to make some good money. Now, there are certain situations where money might have become an issue. Let's say you started at a place. Then 3rd year that you're working there, you meet the love of your life. Y'all get married, you have kids, you get a house. Your expenses have increased over the course of maybe 5 to 7 years. So that paycheck that you were about, that's not gonna be the money that's gonna make you happy anymore. You're gonna be kind of looking like, okay, I'm barely making ends meet. I need another job. In that case, you're going to be in a situation where changing jobs would be best for you because there might be another company out there that pays more money for the same type of work. If you're in a situation where you're working for a company and let's say across the board, across that field, the pay is pretty much the same, then that's different. That's going to get into a career change rather than a job change. But again, if it's just that company that might be paying low, or if it might be, that you're working for a small business, you might want to consider a larger business. a corporation with better pay, better benefits, then in that case, you don't want to go through a whole career change. A job change would be sufficient. Reason number 4, you're making an overnight decision. Now, I know some of y'all, when you go to bed at night, your head's just moving through all these different thoughts. You're thinking about all these different things as you fall asleep. And one of those things might be the crappy day that you had at work. And you're like, you know what? I'm over it. I want to leave. Now, in that case, if you're just like not feeling the job and, maybe last night you didn't have a good sleep because you kept thinking about that horrible job, and then you go to bed tonight, you're still having a bad sleep and having nightmares about that job, it might just be the job. If your feelings fluctuate and some days you're happy with the place, some days you're not happy with the place, it just might be that actual place that you're working at, then you might want to just consider a job change instead of a whole career change over something like that. Now let's consider the 4 reasons that you might consider a career change. Now we're getting into something that's completely different. We're talking about career change. It's a major move, so we want to make sure that we're doing this for the right reasons. So the first reason that you might want to consider changing careers is if you are not passionate about the work you're doing. I will be real with y'all. I am, as many of you know, a full-time educator. I teach middle school students, and I work with some people, and I have worked with some people in the past where I just know they're not passionate about what they're doing. The passion isn't there. Maybe when they started, they loved their job, and then over time, it's just like, ugh. Like, I can't think of a worse thing to do than to spend 40 hours of your week doing something that you hate. It's just no point to it. If you're working every day and you are just completely dragging your feet going to work, you're sitting at your desk, you're just thinking of doing something else other than that job, your whole mood is different, you're just not really feeling that job and that career that you've chosen, then it is time to change careers. Consider another career, look into other opportunities, because your happiness is super important. The happiness of the people that are working with you are also important. The happiness of the people that you live with is important, because a lot of that comes home to your family. Very important. So you want to definitely consider a career change if that's the case. The passion isn't there, it's fizzled out, it's died out, there's nothing but ashes there. Let's talk about a career change. Reason number 2 that you might want to consider changing careers is if the job that you're doing is just not a challenge for you anymore. So if you're doing your job, you go to work every day and you can literally do the job with your eyes closed, you're bored, you're not feeling it, it's just the most depressing type of thing to have to do every day, doing something that you don't feel challenged, and you feel like the inner spirit animal inside of you is just ready to break out because you want more, you want to flex your skills, you want to develop new skills, and you want to be able to tap into those skills, right? So in that case, you want to consider a career change. Now, I'm not saying that if your job is easy to just automatically think about a career change, because some people are like, hey, I like easy. I'm not looking for a challenge. I'm good. In that case, you're fine. But if you want that challenge, if you want something more than what you're doing, then you want to look at maybe a career change, especially if you're in a field where there's no room for advancement. Sometimes if you're working for a smaller company, it's really hard to get into those top positions. Even in corporate America, it's hard to get into those C-level positions that you might be going after. So in that case, you might want to consider changing industries or going into a completely different role that will help you feel challenged. Reason number 3, you're feeling threatened by a lack of job security. Now, in 2020, this happened to a lot of people that were in certain industries where the industry might have kind of almost shut down as a result of COVID-19. So whether it was the people that were laid off, people that had their jobs furloughed or hours cut, in those cases, you might feel a lack of job security. In other cases, job insecurity might happen if you're in a role where technology is starting to take over and maybe the job of specific people is not necessarily needed as much as before. Either way, whatever the case is, no one wants to deal with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So you want to consider looking at other career options if you're in an industry that is being affected by advancements in technology, the way of the world, things that are going on. So the last and final reason number 4 for why you might want to consider a career change is if you have been thinking about it for a very long time. If it's something where, it's not like the other idea of job change where it was like an overnight or a couple of weeks, we're talking about months of you thinking about this over and over again. In this case, your brain has already done most of the work because you're starting to think about the new career options, you're starting to research, you're starting to look into things. And if your brain is that far ahead, you might want to run and catch up to it because it's time for you to get out of that career and to think about other options and to actually execute a plan. So those are the 4 reasons for why you want to consider a job change and the 4 reasons for why you want to consider a career change. Let's summarize it, because sometimes all that information kind of hits you at once and you're like, whoa, where am I? In short, or in summary, you want to consider a job change if it's issues that you're having with your employer or your company. You want to consider a career change if your issues are issues that can only be fixed if you leave the industry or if you take on a completely new role. Speaking of career changes, I am a professional resume writer and I work with people that are just like you. I work with people that are looking to change careers, looking to pivot in a new direction in their career, and I make sure that I'm creating a resume that reflects their transferable skills and strengths and really markets them as a highly competitive candidate in their job search. So if that's something that you're looking for, definitely be sure to email me, Elle@ellecareerservices.net, or you can visit my website, ellecareerservices.net. Wait. Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, make sure you share this with a friend or two, and come back because I will be posting videos every week, every 2 weeks, somewhere around that type of time frame. It'll be somewhere around there. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this video and I'll see y'all in the comments. Bye-bye.